I'm coming home soon. Do you need me to pick up something from the supermarket on my way home?
There's something I want to talk to you about when you get home. It's important.
What is it? Does something happen?
I only ask for one thing, and it's that I stop being a housewife for our family. I also have no intention of continuing my relationship with you. I have no faith in our marriage. The last 10 years being married to you was not a happy time for me. I'm going to concentrate on finding my own happiness now. I hope that you'll find happiness too. I won't sue you for the emotional abuse you put me through over the years. But please do one thing for me. Please take good care of our children. That's all I ask. Goodbye.
Okay.
Huh? Is that all you have to say to me? Look how much I wrote, and all you can say to me is okay? I put a lot of thought into what I was going to say to you. You're always so cold to me. You're a terrible husband.
What do you want me to say? This isn't the first time you said something like this to me. I'm sick and tired of you jerking me around like this. If this is what you want, I won't stop you.
Don't give up on us so easily. Don't you have any feelings left for me? You're not going to stop me from leaving you. Does marriage mean nothing to you?
Look, what do you want me to say? If you want to divorce me, I can't stop you. This is not the first time that you try to divorce me over chat. What is it that you're looking for?
I want you to stop me from leaving you. That's what you want too, right? I know you still love me.
I don't want to continue this conversation with you. I'm sick and tired of you stirring things up between us. In fact, I want to divorce you. You were right. The last 10 years hasn't been fun for me either. I want out.
How can you say that to me? Aren't you my husband? Stop playing games and ask me to come back to you.
What are you trying to do? Why do you want to make things so complicated? This is the first time that you said that you wanted to leave the kids, too. If you weren't being serious, you shouldn't have said such a thing about our children. That's sick.
I wasn't kidding. I had to say that in order for you to take me seriously.
I tried to take you seriously at first, but you like to make things so difficult for me. You've been acting crazy like this for the past 6 months, and I'm tired of it. Now you've convinced me that leaving you might be the better option for me. I'm prepared to end our marriage.
Prepared? Prepared for what?
I'm getting ready to divorce you. You've been asking me for months now to leave you, and I'm finally going ahead with it. I don't want to go back and forth with our decision.
Well, it's not an easy decision to make. If you asked me not to leave you, I'd reconsider.
Are you home right now?
I'm not. I'm not coming home until you apologize to me.
What do I need to apologize for?
Your behavior. Even if it's your fault, you try to blame it all on me.
I'd apologize if I thought that it was my fault. But this time, I don't think I've done anything wrong. It took me a long time for me to get the kids to go to sleep yesterday, but did you have to get so angry about something so small? If you're so good with the kids, couldn't you have tucked them in yourself?
I want a little more help from you. Just because I'm good at something doesn't mean that I have to do everything on my own. It's not fair. That's what I call emotional abuse.
You say that you're doing everything by yourself, but all you do is cook. You don't even work.
Are you making fun of the fact that I don't work? I'm busy too, you know.
I'm sure that you are. You take care of the kids and take and pick them up from school every day, so I'm grateful that you take such good care of the kids, but I also want you to understand that I work really hard too. And when I come home tired from work, you expect me to bathe the kids, clean the house, do the laundry, and vacuum? It's too much for me. And when you don't get what you want, or if things don't go your way, you storm out of the house and start sending me threatening chat messages. How do you think that makes me feel? That's why I decided that the next time this happens, I'm leaving you for good.
Are you being serious right now? You're divorcing me? You can't live without me. Apologize to me now and I'll forgive you. If you beg me to come back to you, I'll do it.
I'm home now.
Are you listening to me?
You left the kids unattended?
Don't bring the kids into this. This is between us. Now listen to me.
What if they were hurt? You're so irresponsible. Helen is only 3 years old.
Sean is already in elementary school. He's old enough to take care of his little sister.
What if they'd gotten injured? They can't take themselves to the hospital. What if a stranger comes by the house and they're kidnapped? Did you consider these things before leaving them by themselves?
Don't try to change the subject by making it all about our kids. What about me and my needs?
I've always prioritized your needs, but not anymore. I've had enough.
What do you mean you've had enough? You should be begging for my forgiveness.
I'm not gonna do that. Please, sign the divorce papers. You don't need to come home.
What? How can you say that to me? You can't kick me out of my own house.
Well, you're the one that left. You've been running away from home at least once a week for most of the year now. Did you think that I didn't know what you've been doing on those days that you weren't home?
What are you talking about?
You didn't think I was smart enough to figure out where you were, doing what? I know everything, so you can't deny it.
Huh? I don't understand what this is about.
You know what I'm talking about. Stop bluffing. Who is he, by the way?
Who is who? What man are you referring to?
Don't pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about. This is your opportunity to leave me for good and be with the other guy out in the open. You don't need to keep it a secret anymore. You were just using me to make me look like the bad guy.
I have no idea what you're talking about. If you're leaving me, you'd better pay me alimony and child support payments.
Yeah, whatever. I saw this coming.
What? You'd better pay up.
I've already discussed it with my lawyer. They told me that I have no obligation to pay you any alimony. You're the one that cheated on me, so you owe me alimony.
What are you talking about? You're the one that asked for the divorce. If you want me to say yes, then you should pay me alimony.
I have a record of all of our chat history. The ones where you repeatedly asked me for a divorce. I can print them and hand them to the court at any time.
Is that a threat?
It's proof that I wasn't the one that asked for divorce first. Not that I need that proof. Since you're the one that's having an affair, you can't get away with not paying me any alimony.
But what about the emotional abuse that you put me through? Things were hard for me too, you know. I didn't sue you for the emotional abuse because I didn't want our children to think any less of you. And you're going to sue me for cheating on you? It's not fair. I'm not going to pay you any money.
Well, you don't have a choice if the court orders you to do so. I also know that you've been stealing money from my bank account and transferring the money into your own.
I don't know what you're talking about. It must be some sort of mistake.
You've been taking out small accounts over the course of months. I'm onto you. I saved up that money before we got married, so it's not yours to take. I'm gonna have to ask you to pay me back for that as well.
Why do I need to do that? Besides, I only took the money to pay for stuff that our kids needed. You didn't give me enough of it to live off of.
I can't believe you would say that because you also took plenty from my main account where my salary is paid. I'm sure that you took the money so that you can use it after you divorce me.
I didn't think we'd be getting divorced so soon. I'm going to ask you to pay me child support payments. That's the least you can do for me.
I'll be more than happy to pay the child support payments if you're gonna take good care of our children. I felt obliged to give you child support payments, and I was more than willing to pay until I found out tonight that you left the kids home alone, unattended. Your parenting is reckless. I don't think you care about them. All you care about is yourself.
How the hell can you say that to me?
If you cared about them, you wouldn't leave a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old at home alone. You didn't even lock the door! Do you know how dangerous that is?
That's because
I don't want to hear any more of your excuses.
I'm not making excuses.
They sound like excuses to me. There's no good reason for leaving your 2 young children unattended. You said so yourself at the start of this conversation. You want the kids to be taken care of, so I'll do what you asked me to. They'll be happy with me. I have one thing to ask of you as well. Please divorce me!
Karen rushed home, but Ryan had already left the house with his 2 kids to go see his parents. Ryan took a few days off work and discussed with his parents about the next steps after his divorce from his wife, Karen. Karen came over to her parents-in-law's place and brought her 2 parents with her. They tried to get the children to come home with Karen, but failed miserably. Ryan told everyone about how Karen had cheated on him and tried to blame the reason for divorce on him. Karen's father slapped his daughter's face in anger. Karen's parents apologized to Ryan profusely for their daughter's terrible behavior. But Ryan had already made up his mind about the divorce, and he began the process with the help from his lawyer. He plans on suing Karen's lover as well. It seemed that Karen's lover was also married, so things were going to get ugly. All we hope for is that Sean and Helen still grow up to be happy despite their parents' divorce.
Kirsty, how you doing? You doing good?
Who is this?
It's me. It's Jonathan.
I don't know anyone by the name Jonathan.
What are you talking about? Forgot your own brother's name?
I don't have any brothers.
What?
I've cut ties with my family at home a long time ago. I don't have any family.
Relax, dude. You're Kirsty, right? You and I are definitely family. No matter what you do, you can't change that fact.
Okay, and what do you want from me?
Well, I remembered you, and I was wondering if you were doing well.
Why the hell are you asking me that out of the blue? I've nothing to talk to you about. Not a single thing.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. Mom and Dad both want to see you too. How about you come by and say hello next time?
No, seriously, what are you talking about? You're way too late for that. I don't need to remind you that you chased me out of the house with everyone else too. You didn't forget, did you?
I mean, yeah, I guess that did happen, but it's a great memory now, right?
I don't think you understand the meaning of great. Do you realize how much trouble I had to go through because of that?
I know, that must have been really tough.
You don't know anything. Can you stop acting like you understand just to get brownie points? You called me a failure. You suddenly grabbed and packed some of my clothes to chase me out. I had little to no income and I was forced out of my house. I couldn't live alone yet, so I lived in my workplace. I was literally underaged. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I totally do get it, but I thought that doing that to you was the best thing I could do for you.
What? You thought that the best thing you could do was to throw out an 18-year-old girl with no job?
If we didn't do that to you, you never would have been independent. And that's why I talked to Dad and decided to do that with him.
Also, all of the money I had saved up. You used it all without asking me about it at all. I had to start a new life with no actual funds.
Starting from zero is better. It's like it's a completely new life, you know?
What the hell are you talking about? You and Dad are the exact same. You think that just because you're super elite, that the things I do aren't worth anything at all. You called it trash. You even burned everything that I had written down, didn't you?
I just wanted you to rethink your decisions. I knew that you failed college and you were just stuck inside after that. I didn't want to just let you stay inside and rot away.
I didn't get accepted into college because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to a college that I wasn't interested in. I just took the entrance exam because of Dad's status.
You really should stop acting tough. Just come back home already. I've already thought about it twice. I want to start accepting the things that you're doing.
Wow, thank you so much, Your Highness. I have no intention to ever return. I also have zero intention of ever talking to you or my family.
What the hell? You think you can act all tough just because I'm over here being humble? Just come home, damn it!
You literally made me broke. You chased me out of my own home. And no matter how much I was struggling, you never offered to help at all. All of you literally ignored me for 5 long, dreadful years. You're not family anymore. You're nothing more than strangers. You're worse than strangers.
I'm sorry about that. I told you. Dad feels the same way as I do. Let's just talk a little.
About what?
What do you mean about what? About us as a family.
Family? I just told you, we're not family. I know exactly why you decided to reach out to me, too.
Huh?
It's because my novel won several big awards and I'm making a name for myself. And it's going to be made into a real movie. That's why, right?
Well, really? Congratulations on that.
Look at you, pretending not to know. I'm sure you saw it on the news this morning, right?
I mean, did you see the news? You never reported back to us about anything. I didn't know at all. Seriously, congratulations.
Shut the hell up. You realize now all the things that you all call trash and useless? Well, apparently society really loves that trash.
I didn't realize that you had that kind of talent.
Didn't realize or just wasn't interested at all. You and Dad were both only interested in your own work. Mom was just the stereotypical shut up and make me a sandwich type woman. She had zero interest in my happiness. But none of that matters anymore. I actually feel much better. So bye.
Hang on just a sec. How about we just celebrate your award, huh? You just come back home once. Is that clear? How about this weekend?
I'm sorry, I'm busy this weekend. I won't be able to go.
And what about next week?
I'm actually going to be busy every weekend for the rest of my life, so I don't ever want to see you again.
Why the hell not?
How about just being honest with everyone?
What? What are you talking about?
The real reason that you reached out to me today, to the younger sister that you had never reached out to for 5 long years, there has to be some kind of reason that you're contacting me, right?
What are you talking about? I really just wanted to celebrate your awards.
Really? Okay, thanks. That's it. Bye.
Okay, fine. I'm in a bit of a pickle. I need your help.
Is it money?
Yeah, it is. Dad's company is in danger.
And?
I'm the vice president of the company. I'm running the company with Dad, but the company isn't doing well right now. It's just not working out for us. You won an award, though. I'm sure if your novel is going to be made into a movie, you must have had quite a bit of money, right? You loan us a little bit, please.
That's the real reason you contacted me. I knew it this whole time.
I'm begging you. We're family, right?
Why are you in that situation right now?
It's not my fault at all.
I'm sure the second you started actually having important decision-making powers in the company, things started failing, right? I knew that it wouldn't succeed with you running it.
It's true that all this happened after I started running things. It wasn't my fault, though. It's because the clients that I work with are all full of idiots. They started ruining my reputation.
Yeah, the company probably isn't doing well because you're only ever thinking about yourself and not others, right?
What?
That's why you kept losing your trust. I'm sure big-time clients must have ran away from you, right? I knew that you had no talent or skill in running a business at all.
Shut the hell up! Don't act like you know anything. What the hell do you know about any of this?
I don't know anything. I don't even want to know or begin to understand what someone like you thinks of everyone else. I never want to understand what that's like. I also knew something, to be honest with you.
Huh?
The real reason that I was chased out? It wasn't because of Dad and what he thought about me. It was all because of you, right?
What are you talking about?
Well, a year after I was ruthlessly thrown out into the world with nothing to my name, Mom contacted me. She apologized profusely to me. She said that you convinced Dad and that you wanted to help chase me out of my own home. She even said that maybe you just wanted all of Dad's inheritance to yourself. Of course, I didn't think about that at all. I mean, I know it's a little too late and all, but now that I think about it, that makes complete sense. But don't worry about it. I don't care about Dad's inheritance. I'm sure his company is going to go under because of your undoing.
Shut up! Just give me the money. If I can't get over this situation, I can still make a recovery. I'll just cut back on all the newer employees, all of them. Then I don't have to worry about paying them and everything is fine.
Who would want someone with that kind of logic as your own boss? I don't have any intention of loaning you any money. I don't have any intention of meeting you either. Also, have you even read my novel?
No, I haven't, but I just saw it on the news.
I knew it. You never would have contacted me if you had read it at all.
What are you talking about?
Well, the novel actually has everything that you've done to me up until this point. It's literally all written right there. It starts from when we were kids, too, and how you bullied me.
It's fiction anyway. No one would know that it was me.
Did you actually watch the news? I literally told them your real name in the interview.
What?
You might be a popular man for some interesting magazines. I'm sure they're all looking you up as we speak. The movie is going to be released next year, so it's still a little ways away, but I hope your company is still around until then.
What? What the hell are you talking about? You made it so that they could figure out who I am and where I work?
I don't know anything.
Stop messing around with me, you shithead! The company is already in a world of trouble. Why would you try to make the owner look bad? And you call me your family member? You don't feel bad for Dad at all?
Why the hell would I? It doesn't matter. He threw me out all the same, even if it was your idea to begin with. If you're interested in the content, though, maybe you should try to give it a shot. Thank you for your patronage. In Christie's novel, there were a lot of articles about her childhood. Jonathan had bullied her when she was young in several traumatizing events. By the end of the week after the interview, a lot of paparazzi magazines had figured out the connection between the two of them. Jonathan's public image was completely destroyed, and as a direct result, his company was failing. Her parents would go on to read the novel. They were furious about what their own son did to their daughter. After firing Jonathan from the company, they chased him out of the house as well. Christie had no intention of ever forgiving her parents, however. She didn't go back to their house. But she did promise to invite them to the movie's premiere. Jonathan, on the other hand, had no job or place to live. He looked for a place of work nearby, but since most of the people knew about her novel and the contents, no one wanted to hire him to work for them. Sarah, how are you? The funeral you held for your mother was lovely. It must have been a lot to deal with in such a short time. I'm sure she would have been very happy with it. Thank you for coming to pay your respects, Emily. It means a lot to me that you came all the way to see her. It was a good chance to see Stephen and the grandkids. And what kind of mother-in-law would I be if I didn't go? Thank you. I really am grateful. I regret that you and my mom didn't have much of a chance to see each other when she was alive. Yes, it really is a shame. She was living with you, wasn't she? It was the first time I'd been inside your house, so I was surprised to see how big it was. It's a wonderful home. We already had the kids when we decided to live with my mom's, so we had it built so that it would feel more spacious and open. We knew that the boys would need more space when they grow up, so we took that into consideration too, but it feels so big and empty now that my mom is gone. That must be hard on you. But you're so lucky. Our house is cramped. I feel trapped all the time. I don't know about lucky. You're living with Stephen's second eldest brother at the moment, aren't you? Yes, and it's horrible. We're living with Thomas and his wife, but I can't bear her. I don't know why he married someone like her. She does nothing but cause trouble. Really? I haven't spent a lot of time with her before, so I don't really know what she's like. I don't know how she can call herself a wife. She always cuts corners on the chores, and she complains all day long. She can't discipline her own child, either. He runs around the house screaming and shouting. I can't live in a place like that. I didn't know any of that. What does your husband think? Have you spoken about it with him? That's the problem. She acts like such a good girl when he's around. When he's looking, she's the perfect daughter-in-law. She's so two-faced, it's very annoying. I guess that's why I don't feel like we can get on well. Is that so? That does sound problematic. It was a bad idea to start living with Thomas and his family to begin with. There was no way all of us would fit in such a small house. I don't know how they thought it could work. What do you mean? There's 5 of us. My husband, myself, Thomas, and his wife and son. Of course we can't survive in such a small house. It's only natural that we get stressed out by one another. We all need our own private space. I never knew that the situation was that bad. Is it really that stressful living together? Of course, I'm fine with living with Thomas since he's my own son, but I don't like that woman. She irritates me to no end. Every day there's something new to be annoyed about because she's so noisy about every single little detail. She won't even wash my or my husband's laundry with her families and expects me to do it by myself. Can you believe that? There's no point in living with them if she doesn't do anything for us. We're letting her live with us, so she should be a little more grateful. It's your husband's house, but I heard that Thomas and his wife are paying the gas and electricity bills, aren't they? It's not just the gas and electricity. They're paying for the groceries and other things, too. We provide the house and shelter, so the least they can do is pay for all the necessities. My son and his wife are paying for everything at the moment. That must make it much harder to mention that you're not happy with their attitude. I wonder what you could do. I was wondering about that, too. And I realized when I went to visit yesterday for the funeral, with your house being so big, maybe it would be a better idea if my husband and I moved in with you and Steven. Don't you think that's a wonderful idea? That way we can spend more time with the grandkids, too. We hardly ever see them. Excuse me? My husband and I could move in with you. You've got plenty of space now that your mother's gone. You were saying how it feels big and empty earlier. I'm sure Steven would be happy with that. I don't think that's the problem. First of all, we only just had the funeral. We built this house with the intention of living with my mom, so it's filled with memories of her. And we've already discussed this before with Steven and your husband. I remember that we all decided that we wouldn't move in together, and that you would move in with one of Steven's brothers instead. So you don't mind living with and taking care of your own mother, but you don't feel any obligation towards your in-laws? Do you have a problem with living with me and my husband? Like I said, I didn't decide that alone. I didn't mean anything by it, but my mother did put a lot of money into building this house too. So she had every right to live with us. She's gone now, but the kids will be getting much bigger from now on, so Steven and I have already made up our minds that we'll stick with the first decision and not live with you both. I'm sorry if I've made you feel unwelcome, but that's just what we've decided. And what would you do about your current house? Are you going to give it to Thomas and his wife? I don't want to give them our house, but your house is much bigger and it's new too. It'll be much easier for us to live in. I think it's a good idea for us to move in with you and Steven. I'm really sorry, Emily, but I don't think that's possible. Living together will be a bit difficult for a lot of reasons. Why? What's the matter? What reason could you have to not live with us? Haven't you already spoken to Steven about this? Steven himself was saying that he didn't want all of us to live together. He was quite insistent on it. He always said that he didn't want to live together with his parents. This is why I have problems with you all. All 3 of the daughter-in-laws I have, and not one of them is respectful towards me. There's always one of you saying something insensitive like that. I thought that you were better than the other 2, but you're just the same. You don't think of us as family at all, do you? You're horrible. I don't think that at all. The biggest problem is that you have dog allergies. It's got nothing to do with you personally. We just can't have you staying with us when you can have a reaction. We have 2 dogs, so it really isn't possible for you to stay with us. That's why Steven was so adamant about not living together. We've already gone over this before. I was fine yesterday, so there's no problem anymore. That was because we had the dogs stay with a friend yesterday while we had the funeral. We didn't want them causing trouble, and we knew you were coming, so we took precautions. Then the solution is simple. Why don't you let that friend of yours keep them? That way there'll be no problem for me to live with you. I'm sorry, what? You want us to just give up our dogs? Your husband's parents should be more important than some stupid dogs. Are you being difficult on purpose? If you want to keep your dogs, then you're just being selfish. Why don't you understand that you should prioritize us over everything? Please stop. I've had enough of your ridiculous comments. We won't let you live with us, and that's final. Do you realize that it's not your daughter-in-laws that have the problem, but you yourself? I know that you were living with Keith, your eldest son, until a few years ago. I also heard that you had problems with his wife, too. And that they had to go live elsewhere because of the stress she suffered. They moved out because they didn't want to live with you anymore. That wasn't my fault. You can't blame me for that. That was all her fault. She was flirting with my husband and trying to use him. I just made it clear that there are things she shouldn't do. On top of that, she didn't pay for anything when she first was living with us. She was asking us to pay half of the groceries and pay for half of the bills, just like Thomas's wife. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She was requesting that we pay for things, even though we were letting her live in our house. It's not like she lacked the money. Both her and Keith were working. She could have paid for everything, but no, she was audacious enough to ask us to pay for half. I think that's normal. I don't understand what you're complaining about. Pardon? If you're going to live together, then it's only a matter, of course, that everyone puts some money forward. We were letting her live in our house. Why should we pay for anything? She should have been grateful she had a home. Why don't any of you understand that? All you want is money. My mom was paying for her own groceries and things. It was only fair since she was able to work still and had savings. It helped out a lot. She paid part of the cost of building this house and bought her own furniture instead of asking us to buy things she wanted. I don't care what your mother did, and Thomas is fine with paying for everything. Keith and his wife should have done the same. They're the ones being unreasonable. I heard that your husband is paying part of the bills at the moment. What are you talking about? Didn't you know? Because of the trouble you had with Keith and his wife, your husband's been paying for half of the bills and the groceries in secret. He's been handing it directly to Thomas. I didn't know that. Nobody told me anything about that. Why would he do that behind my back? He was apologizing to your son's wives on your behalf. Why? Why should he apologize? There's nothing to apologize for. He was apologizing because of the way you treated them and how you accused them of being gold diggers because they wanted you to pay for your own part. Even though it's not like you would be paying from your own pocket. You don't even work. So the one that would be paying is your husband. He apologized for how you forced them to cover all the bills and asked them to forgive you for your attitude. The only reason why they're being patient with you is because your husband is being so sincere. That's ridiculous. I'm right. Why should he apologize when I'm only saying what needs to be said? I just got a reply from Steven and he told me to tell you that he'll call you when he gets back home from work. Steven said that he'll call me about moving in with you and about your inappropriate comments, I think. Are you kidding? What inappropriate comments? It's only been a week since my mom passed away, but you're already talking about moving in because our house is much nicer and bigger. Don't you think that that's a bit too insensitive? I haven't been able to call or talk to him in person about it yet, but I can tell that Steven's pretty angry. Isn't he going to talk about moving in together? Of course not. There's another major reason why he said that he never wanted you to live with us. It's not just about the dog allergy you have. It's because you stressed Keith's wife out so much that she got depressed. I haven't done anything like that. Whatever happened to that woman was her own fault. Day in, day out, whenever you saw her, all you did was complain about the things she did. You talked loudly about her behind her back and didn't give her a moment of peace. Even though she was working full-time, she still pulled off doing all the chores, cooking, grocery shopping, all because you complained that she wasn't doing enough. She worked so hard to get you to like her, but nothing worked. I heard that you often threw away the dinners that she made for you and cooked your own. No wonder Steven doesn't want you to live in the same house as me. I was still young back then. I couldn't help it. That's your excuse for driving a person to depression? Do you really think that that's acceptable? It's about time you answered for what you've done. What are you talking about? Is anyone at home with you today? Now that you mention it, it seems awfully quiet. Thomas's wife and his son are always so noisy, but I don't hear anything. I wonder if they've gone out. What about someone much closer to you? Someone much more important? Wait, I don't think my husband is home. I'm completely alone. Do you know where Richard is? He hardly ever goes out this late. What's going on? I hate to be the one to tell you, but your husband and Thomas's family have decided that they're going to move out. What? I don't understand. We have a home right here. It's small, but there's no need to buy another place. My husband and I can move in with you and everything will be perfect. They say that they're going to move into a bigger apartment, just the 4 of them. You can't be serious. I haven't heard anything like that. I don't think they've told you. What am I supposed to do? Where do I go? The people you consider noisy have moved out for you, so you can stay in the house you've always lived in. Legally, it's your husband's, but if it's you by yourself, I'm sure it'll feel much bigger. That's what you wanted. I'm sure you'll be more comfortable by yourself. Who's going to take care of me? What am I supposed to do? Cook and clean and do grocery shopping all by myself? Why isn't anyone picking up the phone? I don't understand. They've all abandoned me. I guess they all got tired of enduring your abuse. We don't live too close, so I've never had to spend a lot of time with you. So I haven't experienced it firsthand, but it looks like you caused a lot of suffering for the people around you. And since you have no consideration for the fact that I'm currently in mourning, I can only think that you're as self-centered as I've heard. I can empathize, but I can't imagine how your other sons' wives must have felt with you in their homes. It's unpleasant just thinking about it, so I think I'd like to keep my distance as well. I found divorce papers on the living room table. Sarah, what should I do? How can I make them come back? I can't do anything by myself. I think you should give your husband the divorce and let them live in peace. It means you have to pay all the bills and do all the housework by yourself. But that's what you get for not being thankful for all the support you've had up until now. Your husband is graciously letting you live in the house he bought after all. Why shouldn't you pay for everything yourself? Thomas and his family moved out with Richard into an apartment, leaving Emily alone in her husband's house. The apartment they moved into wasn't as big as their old home, but they were able to live in peace and stress-free. So they all got on well and took care of one another. On the other hand, Emily had no choice but to divorce her husband at a late age. She tried begging Stephen and Keith for help, but her eldest son had already had enough of his own mother after she caused his wife to get depression and had cut ties with her a long time ago. He didn't answer any of her calls or her pleas for help. Stephen was furious with his mother after he found out how insensitive she had been towards his wife and told her to never call them ever again. Because of her own actions and her attitude towards the people that loved her, Emily ended up living a solitary life. Ria, I have something important to discuss with you. What is it? It's important. What time are you coming home tonight? I'm out now, so I don't think I'll be home until very late. Can we speak tomorrow? Where are you and what are you doing? I'd like you to come home as soon as possible so that we can talk. It's really important that we talk tonight. But I told you I'm out. Can't this wait? Or better yet, can you speak to Kevin about it? By the way, are you at the house right now? I am. I'll be waiting for you at my parents' house. I want you to come home as soon as possible. Where's Kevin today? He's still at work and hasn't come home yet. Where are you now? Do I have to tell you that? I don't think that's something that I need to share with you. Where you go is not my business, but if it's not that important, I'd like you to prioritize family today. I'd like you to come home right away. What's going on? If it's so urgent, can't you just tell me now? Fine, I'll ask you over chat. What did you do with my father's bank book? Huh? What bank book are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about, right? The fact that you're lying about it means that you're guilty. I was shocked to find out what you did, and used all of his money without asking for permission. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're being ludicrous. Can you ask Kevin about it? Don't involve Kevin. We know that you did it on your own. If you're not going to confess, we could just report it to the police. Is that a threat? Why are you making such a big deal about a lost bank book? Your father has gone senile and he probably lost his bank book. I'm sure of it. I'm sure he's not even looking for it. My father is not senile, and he also suspects that you took his bank book from him. You don't know that he's senile because you don't live with him. He's very forgetful these days. The issue is not whether my father is forgetful or not. We found the missing bank book in your room. What? Well, if you found it, what's the problem? The room also belongs to Kevin. I'm not the only one that uses that room. How could you go into our room without permission? That's an invasion of privacy. You're the one committing a crime here, not me. You don't seem to get it. My father called me to say that his bank book was missing, and then I spoke to Kevin about it. So you already spoke to Kevin then? If you already got in touch with him, why get in touch with me too? Kevin gave me permission to go into your room. Well, I certainly didn't give you permission to go through my stuff. And I found the missing bank book in one of the drawers. You took the bank book that had the most money in it. And I saw that you had taken all the money out. What did you do with the money? Why are you asking me? I don't know. I'm sure that your father used the money for something and forgot about it. Either way, this has nothing to do with me. I see. If that's how you're going to play it. My father is clearly in distress because of what you did to him. You used up all the money that he had saved for his post-retirement. How many times do I have to tell you? It wasn't me. Don't blame me. You don't have any proof. You need to calm down. I think you're the one that needs to calm down. The way you write your chats isn't a style that is used by most people in their 30s. You need to grow up a little. My friends tell me that I sound young for my age. I'm sure that they're complimenting me. I don't think they're complimenting you. You committed a crime. Even if you're married to my brother, it's a crime if you take a family member's money without their consent. Why do you think I did it? It wasn't me. Who else could it be? This is serious. You committed a crime. I went to the bank with my father. They told us that a woman had come into the bank several times with my father's bank seal and taken out money from the account. They showed me that person's signature, and it was your name on the papers. Oh, so you know then. I didn't think the bank would show the signed papers to anyone. Don't they know what client confidentiality means? Well, the account belongs to my father, so I think he has every right to know who took money from his account. What did you use the money for? Why do I need to tell you that? Your father lives on his own, and it's not like he needed the money for anything. He doesn't have to provide for your mother anymore, and Kevin pays some money to your father as rent. So he won't miss any of the money that I spent. It's not like he can take the money with him when he dies. I was just helping him to make good use of his money. You're not making any sense to me. What I mean is there's no point in having all this money if you're not going to use it. Your father should be thanking me for using his money. I really don't understand your logic. It makes no sense to me. You committed a serious crime and I'm going to report it to the police. But this is a family matter. Why do you need to bring the police into this? I live under the same roof as your father, so his things are mine and my things are his. It's okay to share because we're family. The police won't take this seriously. Considering the amount that you stole, this is a big deal. I think that it makes sense to involve the police because my father never agreed to give you his money. I've already spoken to Kevin about this. Well, I'm sure that Kevin can pay back your father from his salary. It's not a big deal. I don't work, so I can't pay back the money even if I wanted to. Is this a joke to you? Do you think that this is funny? Like I said earlier, I only spent the money because your father had no use for it. I did him a favor. I'm sure that if your father understands where I'm coming from, he'd want to thank me. So you have no remorse for what you did. You stole money and you have the nerve to say that you did something good? You're unbelievable, you know that? You're not listening to me. I've been listening, but you're not making any sense. And my father tells me that you're always out and never at the house. If you don't work, what do you do all day? That's not something that I need to share with you. You don't help with the chores at all, so my father's been taking care of the house on his own. You don't even cook for my father or Kevin. They eat takeout every night. Do you even care about their health? Do I have to prepare the meals by myself? I buy their dinner and leave it on the table so they can eat it when they like. What's the problem here? I had no idea that you and your father were saying mean things about me behind my back. I'm very hurt. I know that you're at the casino right now. What? I know that you have a gambling addiction. Kevin told me about it, and he also told me that you promised that you'd stop gambling when you guys got engaged. Kevin believes that you've been keeping your promise to him, but if he knew that you were at the casino right now, what would he think of you? What casino are you at? Fine, I won't deny it. I'm at the casino. I didn't win any money today, so I'm taking a break and chatting with you. You're delusional. Kevin is also crazy for falling in love with you. You were his first serious girlfriend, so he didn't know any better. Kevin loves me for who I am. Kevin has agreed to take this matter to the police. I'm sure that Kevin will talk to you after he gets off work, but he wants to divorce you. So you should be prepared for that. Huh? A divorce? Kevin would never leave me. He loves me too much. I don't think that Kevin feels the same way. What? Kevin did love you very much, but when he found out that you stole his father's money, he was shocked to see the least. And if he finds out that you're still gambling, basically he married a liar. So you used our father's hard-earned money on gambling. It's unforgivable. Look, I haven't spoken to Kevin yet, and you're putting words in his mouth. I'm going to clear the air with Kevin when I see him later. You can say what you want, but I won't believe a word that comes out of your mouth. Right back at you. Yeah, whatever. You can make up all the excuses that you want, but I won't believe a word that you say to me. The only thing I ask is that you return the money that you stole and that you move out of the house. I never want to see your face again. I live there. You can't kick me out of my own house. We can't let you back into the house. You might steal something. I'm going to stay with my father and Kevin tonight, so if you want to try to come home, I won't let you in. Why don't you sleep outside, you ungrateful bitch? Rhea came home from the casino, but her sister-in-law, Ariel, wouldn't let her into the house. She was taken to the police station after Ariel called the police on her. Kevin apologized to his father for what his wife had done. After a family discussion, Kevin decided to divorce Rhea and report the stealing of his father's money to the police. Rhea didn't have a place to live, a job, or any savings, so she was desperate to get Kevin to forgive her and take her back. But Kevin no longer wanted anything to do with her and shut her out completely. It seems that a difficult future lies ahead for Rhea. Miss Angelica, good morning. Good morning. Do you have a second? Yeah, sure. Is there a problem? Wow, you're up early. Huh? What do you mean? I figured you'd be asleep at a time like this. Huh? Why would you think that? I made William breakfast as soon as I woke up, and I just sent him off to kindergarten. Is something wrong? You sent him off today, did you? Your husband comes more frequently than you do, right? You think so? I think it's about half and half. We share each other's duties, so... Ah, I see. Yeah, we both work. It's so that we don't get overloaded with stress, you know? We share our work. Is there a problem? I heard some strange rumors recently. What about? I'm sorry for asking such a strange question, but... You work... night jobs, right? What? I mean, I work night shift, sure. Is that a problem? Wow, you really just admit it that easily. How were you able to admit such a thing so easily? With no shame? Huh? What are you talking about? I can't believe that I have the same kindergarten as someone who would be willing to admit such a thing that proudly. I've never met anyone like that in my life before. I'm sorry. I don't really understand what you're talking about. What exactly are you trying to say? It's okay. I've heard enough. What? I understand the kind of person you are now. That's why you live in a house that big. It's really not that big. The acreage isn't really any different from the other houses in the neighborhood. We actually just chose the colors to make it look a little bigger than it actually is. You use the money that you make from that kind of work. Aren't you embarrassed to build a house using that kind of dirty money? That kind of work? I'm actually incredibly proud of my job and my work. Why are you sitting here telling me about my own job? I'm worried about my kids, about the effect you'll have on them by being around them. I can't stand it, to be honest with you. Have you thought about the kids at all? Huh? I think about it all the time. You don't think you're doing your own son, William, a disservice? He's alone at night, right? He's never alone at night. While I'm out working, my husband looks after him. William really loves his dad. There really are no issues there. He's just acting tough because he doesn't want to show you his weak side. Huh? William is only 5 years old and he's trying so hard to hide his feelings. I feel so bad for him. I don't know if he's holding back his feelings at all, but I definitely don't think it's something that you should be talking about, Jessie. Why are you talking about this out of the blue? I told you already, I'm worried. If William starts holding things in and ends up a stressed little boy, he's going to start having an effect on the kids around him, right? That's why I was worried, but if his mother is like this, then I don't think there's any chance to make things right again. Make things right? Talk about what? I'm just saying that you're kind of a nuisance. Please don't ever talk to my kid or any other kid. Just leave us all alone from now on. Do you understand? What the hell are you talking about? Who do you think you are? Do you really think you have any right to tell me any of that? Not just you, William too. Be sure to tell him. What? William too. Make sure you don't let him hang out with my child or anyone else's child. Do you understand? What the hell are you talking about? You must be smoking something. Kids should be free to hang out with whoever they like. It's a bad influence. Please do not do that to us. You can talk shit about me all you like, but it has nothing to do with William. And what the hell are you talking about bad influence? I can't believe your husband either. How could he let his wife do such a shameful job? And he has the audacity to show up and send off his son to kindergarten. Is it because he doesn't make enough money from his job? Is that why you have to put yourself through that mess? That's not at all what's going on. I do this because I love my job. I have no intention of ever quitting either. I already spoke to my husband about it and we both agreed it was fine. He agrees with my decision to work too. Also, he doesn't do too bad for himself and provides for us fine. You don't have to worry about me, seriously. I see. Then I won't be saying anything else to you, but about my son and William. I will make sure that they are never able to play with each other again. Do you understand me? I don't know why you're saying that they can't hang out anymore, but if that's what you want to do with your child, then I can't really say anything about it. I understand. I won't be able to stop you. Yes, because that's what I'm going to do. I will be telling all of the other mums as well. You understand that, right? Huh? Are you trying to isolate William completely? Why are you so intent on doing that? Some random child living with a mum who works the night. I'm sure that child will grow up to be a shitty person. I'm not sure why I have to be scolded for working nights. I really don't understand where you're coming from. You work night jobs, and you still somehow try to deal with kids. I don't understand that at all. Working in adult work. You're not even a single mom. How could you do such a thing? What? Adult work? I know about it. You always go out in the afternoon. I've seen you go out a few times. You go out to work even on the weekends. You must be doing some kind of adult work, right? I'm sorry. That's what you meant by working nights? I understand now that you've completely misunderstood me. I do work night shifts, yes. But I don't do any adult work, no. Then what the hell do you do? You can try to come up with excuses if you like. These aren't excuses. I run a small tutoring school in front of the station. Uh-huh. We accept students up to high school. Most weekdays, I work night shifts as a result. My school takes on kids from K to 12th grade. Most of the kids want to come on weekends, though. That's why I'm often leaving for work on the weekends. I've been working before I ever had kids, and they had just allowed me to run the school. I really can't just up and quit, you know? I try my best to take off the weekends, but you're right. Maybe William was a little lonely on the weekends or nights. Tutoring? Like, for regular schools? Yeah, exactly. I end up leaving for work at night often. I think people might misunderstand why, but I really don't think your imagination has led you to the right answer. So you run it? I mean, they hired me to run it. But yeah, I run as the school director for that class. Seriously? You cannot believe me all you want, but if you look up the school name on the internet, you'll find a photo of me as the school director on the website. You're kidding me, right? You don't do adult work? I told you a few times already. No, I don't. But you don't want anyone who works nights to deal with kids at all, right? I agree. Let's make sure that happens. No, wait. I think I must have had some kind of misunderstanding. I see. You do some kind of tutoring program. What age are kids able to go to your school? Well, the youngest I have right now is 5 years old. I teach my own kid at home, so I don't have any intention of making him go to our school. But if he ever decides that he wants to go too, I might take him with me. I don't know. And do you guys teach Japanese by chance? Well, we mainly tutor Japanese and math, so yeah, we can definitely handle that. I see. Just wondering, if I know you as a friend, does that mean I'm able to receive a discount? Yeah, I definitely discount fees charged to my friends. We also have a special discount for when you bring new students. I see. I'm sorry that I misunderstood. Let's make sure to stay great friends from now on too, okay? Huh? Yeah, no. In your dreams, lady. What? What do you mean? You said it yourself. You said that you don't want anything to do with me. You don't want me to have anything to do with any of your kids, right? Wait, hang on. That was because of the misunderstanding. Do you understand? Well, that's fine. I don't want my kids to deal with you either. Someone who would judge another human being for the work that they do. That's seriously not what I intended to do. I just thought that you were doing adult work. That's exactly what I mean. What are you talking about? What did I ever do to you? You talked down to another person's career. You even started complaining about someone else's family. You're that kind of person. I don't want to deal with a person like that. I want to make sure my kid learns Japanese too, though. Can you please give us a discount? I don't mind if our kids hang out because they're friends, but I really don't like you, Jesse. I definitely don't consider you to be a friend of mine anymore. If you're ever interested in joining our school, you will be paying full price. I was a little worried that I might have been too mean to Jesse, but... After that day, Angelica started to completely ignore Jesse entirely. To add to it, she made sure the kids stopped playing with each other too. She was going to make it abundantly clear that she was avoiding Jesse. Angelica handed out discount coupons to all of her friends other than Jesse. Apparently, all of the other mums tried their best to get along with Angelica. It was almost poetic. It's a mum-eat-mum world out there.
Hey, Sarah, have you calmed down a little bit? I'm really sorry about yesterday. I think that Mom and Dad didn't mean to make you feel bad or anything.
I don't think this is something I'm going to just calm down from.
I know. I'm sure you're still pissed off, but just come home, okay? Let me explain everything, okay?
I don't want to listen to any more explanations. I'm just in shock right now. I don't even want to talk to you.
Don't be like that. Come on, we're engaged, right?
I don't know. I need to think about that too.
What? You literally said yes to me last month.
But if I had gone to your parents' house before you proposed to me, I might not have said okay to it at all.
What the hell is that about? You're saying that my parents are the problem here? All this over something that may have bothered you at my parents' house. You're gonna throw out the engagement over that?
If you marry, that means that our families will become families. I don't think I can do that kind of thing, to be honest with you.
Don't be like that. As far as yesterday, my parents definitely had some faults. I want to explain everything, so just come home, okay? Besides, I'm literally apologizing right now, okay?
I don't think it's something I can just forgive you after a little bit of apologizing. Just because you apologize doesn't really change anything either. I don't even really like the attitude that you had at your parents' house yesterday either.
What are you talking about? It's really not that big of a deal, is it? Were you really that sensitive of a person? Oh, you're seriously so much work.
You're saying that I'm so much work? Do you really understand what kind of damage you all caused yesterday?
Yes, I understand. That's why I keep apologizing to you. You're getting a little annoying now. You really should start reconsidering how you think.
What? Me? I'm the one that needs to start reconsidering my thoughts. Just to be perfectly clear here, your son's fiancé comes over to say her greetings before getting married, and then your own dad throws hot tea on her? That's not normal.
I'm sorry. Dad really didn't mean anything by it either.
If he really did that without thinking that it would be something bad, then that's also pretty terrifying as well. I'm pretty scared to think about your own mum who was just standing there watching us too.
Don't talk so bad about my family, okay? You really have a bad habit of focusing on the negative things. You should really fix that, you know?
What? Are you freaking crazy? I had hot tea thrown onto me. And me complaining about that means that I'm focusing on the negative things? That's literally what I should be complaining about. I don't think that there's anything that's possibly good about that situation.
Don't think much about it, okay? Dad and Mom were just worried about me. They just wanted to protect me.
Protect you from what, moron? Not only did I have hot tea thrown at me, why the hell were you standing there laughing while I was burning?
Oh, I'm sorry about that. It was just a situation I hadn't encountered before, so I just couldn't help but laugh.
I was literally burned by the tea. Did you even know about that?
Yeah, I was worried about you after I realized what was happening.
Yeah, you were. You really pretended to be worried about me, didn't you?
It wasn't pretending!
You were definitely pretending. While I was running around screaming that it was hot, you were just laughing at me the whole time. I really felt like you were the worst person on the planet.
I said I'm sorry. It was just a little funny.
It's not funny at all. I really thought that you were just as crazy as they were.
Oh, what are you talking about? Me too. You trying to say that my parents are insane?
Yeah, I am. I think they're certifiably insane. I didn't even mention the best part. After I ran out because I was pissed off after having hot tea thrown on me, You didn't even bother chasing me out of the house to check on me, did you? That's when I knew that this wasn't going to work out.
What do you mean not work out? You were seriously pissed off. I figured that it would be better to let you cool off for a bit, no pun intended. You didn't even come home yesterday. I was really worried, you know?
Thank you for worrying so much about me, but I have no intention of ever returning.
Huh? What about the apartment? You gonna leave even though we live together?
Yes, I'm going to pack my things and leave. You can also consider this whole engagement called off.
Wait, hang on a second. I'm sorry, I'll explain everything. Just hear me out, okay?
I don't have anything else to talk about.
I have my reasons. Mom and Dad and what they did yesterday. It was all just actually, you know, a prank. It was a surprise.
What? A prank?
Yeah, I'm a guy. I'm also an only child, right? So my dad can't say things like, I'm never gonna let you have my daughter. That's why he said he really wanted to try saying that this time around. I do think that he went a little too far by throwing tea on you, but that's why I couldn't help but chuckle a little bit.
Hang on a second. Wait, so you knew that would happen? That they would say crap like that to me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Mom knew about it too. But the plan was that he would yell, I'm never gonna let you have my son! And then we were all gonna say that it was all just a prank.
Uh-huh.
But then Dad had to get carried away by everything. He threw the hot tea on you. So I couldn't help but laugh. Mom was also trying to hold back her laughter. She just didn't say anything because she was trying not to laugh.
Are you shitting me right now?
Huh? I mean, I was goofing around a little bit yesterday, but it was funny, right? As soon as you figured out that it was a prank, you thought it was a little funny too, right? Be honest.
What are you talking about? Are you still messing with me? Do you ever stop messing around at all? I think you should stop messing around as a family. I have no intention of ever forgiving any of you.
What? I told you it was a prank! My dad and mom are both okay with us getting married too. They're super happy about it all.
I'm not going to get married to you after all this.
Why the hell not? The whole thing about I'm not gonna let you take my son is a joke. You understand the meaning of a joke, right? It was all just a prank.
To you and your family, it might just be a joke. To me, it isn't a prank or a joke at all. I already spoke to my parents too.
To your parents?
They're pretty up in arms too. They said that there's no way that they could get along with that kind of family. They're not the only ones either. We're really not going to be able to see eye to eye, ever.
Why the hell not? It's just a joke. You're seriously gonna call off the engagement over a joke like that? I feel like that's the worst prank of them all.
This is not a prank. It was the first time in my life that I've ever had tea thrown on me. And it was all basically boiling hot tea. My face was okay, but my hands are a little burned. You're seriously the worst.
Seriously? Look, I'm sorry about that. But just understand that my dad really didn't have any bad intentions. I'm sorry, okay? Let's have a fun life together. You gotta be able to joke around to have fun in life, right?
Personally, dating you at all was just a joke anyway.
What are you talking about?
I don't know why I was dating you. I don't know why I ever said yes to getting married to you. It all makes sense now.
Calm down, okay? I'll give you a little more time to calm down. Once you calm down at your parents' house, come back.
I'm not going to go back, but my parents will be going over today.
What?
They're pretty pissed off, and you're going to be paying for all of my treatment for my burns.
Oh, you're exaggerating. I'm sure it was just a tiny little burn, right?
Even if it was a little burn, you guys should be really taught a lesson of how big a mistake you all made. Your whole family is seriously a little too stupid.
What do you expect? It was the first time I ever brought over a fiancé. It was all a first-time thing for my family too. Marriage is a once-in-a-lifetime thing too.
I see. I'll just take this as a thank you for letting me know before we got married.
Are you seriously gonna let go of the engagement?
I want you to really consider what you've done. Please repent and think about all the guilty things you've done to me. I can't think of a single reason I'd still want to be with you.
I didn't think you were that kind of girl. Don't worry about it, I'm gonna reject you anyway. It was just like my mom had told me.
Huh?
There's no way a 29-year-old woman who isn't married yet is good. That's so true. You're seriously just a leftover. You're never gonna get married for the rest of your life. What a loser.
I'm okay that we don't have to get married. I'm glad that your family doesn't have a woman that would call herself your wife.
Just kidding. I'm just joking. Seriously.
Huh?
Was that funny? My joke? I didn't think about that, of course. Did you laugh? Come back already! Let's enjoy life together!
That really pushed me over the edge. Thank you, actually.
Huh? Was that not funny?
You can just keep saying your stupid jokes that aren't funny at all for the rest of your life. Bye. Sarah's parents went to Christopher's house after that. They demanded an apology from them. Christopher's parents seemed to be fooling around and not taking it seriously the whole time, but maybe Sarah's dad yelling from the top of his lungs made them realize the gravity of what they'd done. They called out Christopher and immediately started begging. They paid almost twice the treatment fees. The burn wasn't bad at all, and there were no scars left behind. It was a little sad that Sarah had dated someone for 2 years, only to have to meet that whole terrible family. She decided to just focus on her work and career. Christopher had kept contacting Sarah trying to get her back on the good side and making jokes. But Sarah had already blocked Christopher, so she's never going to have to read those terrible text messages again.